We've all been there, right? Your child is having a complete and total meltdown, and your response in that moment, it feels small. But what if I told you that tiny reaction is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make for them? Today, we're going to dig into the science of how we teach our kids about feelings. And spoiler alert, it shapes their entire lives.
All right, let's dive right in. Section 1, a child's big feelings. We're starting with a moment every single parent recognizes, a moment just packed with big, overwhelming emotions.
So let's just picture it. Your child is upset. I mean, really upset. Maybe they lost a game, a friend was mean to them, or they just scraped their knee. You know, the reason almost doesn't even matter. What matters is that in that moment, as a parent, you have to make a choice.
And that choice, it's not just about getting through the tantrum and making the crying stop. The research is crystal clear on this. Your split-second reaction is a direct building block for their future. We're talking about their success in school, their relationships, even their long-term mental and physical health. It's huge.
Yeah, it turns out that when we respond to our kids' emotions, we aren't just reacting. We are actively teaching. We're delivering these unspoken lessons about feelings, and there's actually a formal name for this in the world of psychology. It's called emotion socialization. Now, that sounds super academic, I know, but all it really means is it's the process of teaching kids the rules of the emotional world. You know, what feelings are, which ones are okay to show, and what on earth to do when those feelings get completely overwhelming.
I think a great way to think of it is like a hidden curriculum for feelings. Just like they learn reading and math at school, they are learning emotional literacy at home from you. And this curriculum is what lays the groundwork for how well they'll handle pretty much every single challenge life throws at them later on.
Okay, so in practice, this curriculum really boils down to a fundamental choice. Researchers find that parents tend to follow one of two very different paths. You either coach the emotion or you dismiss it. On one side, you've got emotion coaching, which is a supportive approach that validates feelings. On the other, you've got emotion dismissing, which is an unsupportive approach that minimizes them. The difference between these two becomes so incredibly clear when you hear what they actually sound like. I mean, the difference is just stark, isn't it? The coaching approach, it leans in. It helps the child label the feeling. I can see you're angry. And then it validates it. It's okay to be sad about this. It treats the emotion as an opportunity to connect and solve a problem. But the dismissing approach, it does the exact opposite. It shuts the feeling down with phrases like, you're fine, or even punishes it. Stop crying or go to timeout. They're two totally different worlds.
Now, this is where it gets really fascinating. These two paths don't just lead to different behaviors in the moment. No, they lead to fundamentally different outcomes because they are literally, physically changing the way a child's brain develops.
The research here is it's overwhelming. Kids who are consistently emotion coached don't just behave better, they build skills for life. They actually do better in school, they form stronger friendships, and they learn how to bounce back from setbacks. That's resilience. And this foundation even leads to better long-term mental and physical health.
But the other path, wow, it's a different story. It is fraught with risk. See, when a child learns their feelings are wrong or invalid, they don't just stop feeling them, they just stop trusting themselves. And this is directly linked to higher rates of anxiety, depression, and major problems in their relationships later in life. The stakes are incredibly high.
So the takeaway here is absolutely crucial. This isn't just about feelings. This is about biology. Supportive parenting, this emotion coaching, physically builds a more robust and resilient brain. I mean, it literally builds it.
So how does this actually work? Well, emotion coaching strengthens connections in the prefrontal cortex. Think of this as the brain's CEO. It's the command center. It's the part that handles reasoning, impulse control, and keeps those big emotions from taking over. So every single time you coach a child through a feeling, you're giving that CEO a workout, making it stronger and more effective for the future.
But this isn't just about a one-on-one interaction. To get the full picture, we really have to zoom out and look at the entire family, the whole village, really. And this is so important. For a long time, research focused mostly on mothers. But now it is crystal clear fathers are not just backup parents. They make their own unique and powerful contributions to a child's emotional world.
A father's supportive coaching directly helps a child learn to understand their own feelings. And what's really incredible is that support in early childhood pays dividends for years, predicting better self-control all the way into the teen years. That's a powerful legacy.
Okay, so the formula seems simple, right? Coach, don't dismiss. But is it really that simple? Does this one model of supportive parenting apply to every family, everywhere in the world?
Well, it turns out not exactly. Culture matters. Deeply. What looks like a dismissing response in one culture might actually be seen as supportive in another. For example, in some Eastern cultures that highly value social harmony, a parent might minimize a child's public outburst while also teaching them how to manage that feeling to maintain the group's well-being. The big takeaway is that the goal of raising an emotionally competent child is universal, but the methods can look very different.
So how can you start coaching today? It boils down to his simple 4-step playbook. First, just notice. Tune into their feelings, even the subtle ones. Second, help them label it. Give them the words. It looks like you're feeling frustrated. Third, validate. Show them it's okay to feel that way. I get why you're sad. And only then, once they feel truly heard and understood, can you move to step 4, problem solve as a team.
At the end of the day, whether you're a mother, a father, or any caregiver, you are your child's first and most important emotion coach. The lessons you teach, spoken or unspoken, will echo throughout their entire lives. So the only question is, what lesson will you teach today?